Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra. With me is Shell Patnagar, and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the closing action on the D Street. Well, it's panned out to be a day when now we're looking at about a 0.5% gains coming in on the Nifty, and we are at record high levels. You know, these are the levels that you've never seen for the Nifty before. 22,178 right now. Very, very strong run up on the benchmark index. That's about a 0.6% of a surge, and this is accompanied by a broad market or a broad-based kind of a run-up that is being seen across the board. So be it the broader markets, the small cap and the mid cap 100 indices, both of them are gaining about 0.6, 0.7%, almost in tandem with the benchmark Nifty. Let's also look at the Nifty Bank. That's now again almost on a similar basis, 0.6% of gains coming in on this one as well. When we talk about sectors, which are the sectors that are gaining ground today, is the consumer durables that are now gaining some strength, about 2% higher in trade right now, followed by oil and gas, FMCG, sectors that are among the limelight. And you know, barring the IT and the realty pack, rest of the sectors are actually doing pretty well in trade. It's the realty space that's looking at some profit being taken off the table as of now. On the Nifty, which are the top stocks that are doing well at the last hour of trade? It's Grasim Industries, 3.5% higher. You have Bajaj Finserv, that's 3% up right now. ICICI Bank, Bajaj Auto, Bajaj Finance again. You have Cipla, Dr. Reddy's, Adani Enterprises. These are among the top movers. And of course, the entire financial pack is moving strongly. On the downside, you have L&T. That's not participating. 1% lower in trade. You have the life insurance companies, HDFC Life, SBI Life, that are down in trade. Wipro, Tata Motors, Axis Bank. These are among the laggards at this point in time. But a lot of spaces are buzzing brightly and looks like, Shell, we are, just like you had pointed out last week, we are going to see all-time high levels. We've seen that on the first day of this week alone. Now, what's next?
Well, Sakshi, I think 22,300 is on the horizon. And remember, we discussed this on last Wednesday, that a new high is coming. And that's there in front of you. So 22,124 taken out in the first 1 hour of trade, and that's doing fantastically well as far as markets are concerned. Let's look at stocks that have contributed to this fantastic uptick as far as pullers and draggers are concerned. I'll request the PCR to fire ICICI Bank. The counter is 2% higher at 1,044. And what's really interesting is that when you see the banking space, at the moment, ICICI Bank is the top gainer in terms of the index heavyweights. And this is accompanied by a rise in open interest as well. So long positions being built up, and about a 1.9% higher in the F&O space as well. So ICICI Bank you can look at, as also Reliance, now 29.53, again consolidating near record highs. This is responsible for a 28-point uptick on the Nifty. ITC, Bharti Airtel, Bajaj Finance about 14 and 10 points respectively. Sakshi, the good part is that if you look at the overall advance decline, there is nothing to be worried about. Even on the Nifty, the advance decline ratio is fairly in favor of bulls if you look at 35:15. So that's a big plus, almost 2.5:1, so 5:2. That's really, really good. Even if you see the broader sentiment, Nifty 500, 328 stocks in the green.
Wow.
Amongst Nifty 200, we generally don't check this index, but that's very substantial. About 140 stocks are in the green. and the mid cap and the small cap are buzzing as well. 2:1 is the ratio there. So these are exciting things, and I'll tell you the new highs in F&O. We have 182 futures, and out of 182 futures, 22 futures are record highs.
Wow.
So that's how you see momentum creeping. We might look at a lot of very, very interesting stocks like, we haven't discussed United Spirits, which is McDowell's. 3% higher, 1160. Coforge is not discussed much, but it's 1693, about 1.2% higher. It's actually the day of Pharma, Zydus Life, Dr. Reddy's, Cipla, Granules. These are in the new high list, all-time high list. Even if you look at, how we are looking at Bosch.
Yeah.
You remember the earnings came in the dying minutes of one of last week's trade. The counter was somewhere like 24,000 rupees. And who says elephants can't dance? 500 रुपए तो आज बढ़ा हुआ है, पिछले 4 दिन में 4,000 रुपए बढ़ा है. So this is the momentum.
Absolutely, a momentum that it does not fail to surprise all of us. Let's welcome our guest then. Ruchit Jain is with us, lead research analyst at 5paisa. Ruchit, good afternoon to you. We were discussing about how soon are we going to see the new all-time highs. It's just 2 days after when you joined us last time, or 3 days after when you joined us last time, that we are able to see 133 points of an uptick coming in on the Nifty. Tell us, how are you looking at the current setup now, and where is your focus now?
Hi, very good afternoon, Sakshi. Very good afternoon to Shel sir as well. Well, if we look at the market's momentum, there is no doubt about the momentum still continues to be very positive. Now, if you look at last 1 month, the index has gone through more of a time-wise corrective phase, where initially in the during mid-January, markets faced resistance around the 22,124. Again, in the 1st of February, 22,127 acted as a resistance. And whenever we got any decline from those resistance, so 40-day exponential moving average acted as a support. We went through a time-wise corrective phase of about 1 month, and again today we have seen a size. So the broader trend, no doubt, continues to remain positive. The market wealth is also quite strong, and if we just take a measurement of the largest leg of this consolidation and add it to the breakouts, that gives a probable target somewhere around 22,500. And even if you look at the positions, then throughout the series, FIs have been on the short side in the index futures. Now, of late, they have reduced some of the net short positions, where their long short ratio has improved from 32% to 38% now. But still, 38% long positions means 62% of the positions are on the short side. So markets are at all-time high, and if these short positions come to cover, then I think that short covering also would lift the markets further higher. So until we see any kind of false breakout or a breakdown of important supports, the biasness remains positive, and we may be headed towards 22,500 level also quite soon.
Wow. Okay, 22,500 really coming in. Ruchit, what about two stock ideas that you can share with all our viewers?
So Pharma is one space where I am focusing more, considering that the entire index is looking quite good. Cipla within the Pharma space would be my pick at current levels, where I would recommend going long on. So a clear high top, high bottom structure, about 1.5 weeks of consolidation, and again a resumption of up move today. So Cipla can be bought at current levels with stop loss below 1420, expecting target somewhere around 1550 in the near term. And Lalpet Lab is another stock that is looking quite positive on the chart. So ideally, last 2 trading sessions, we have seen Lalpet Lab, Metropolis have seen good amount of open interest increase in the future segment. So open interest built up has been there, but price movement has still not come yet. So, and if you look at Lalpet Lab, the stock is trading around its support post the recent corrective phase. So the risk reward ratio is quite favorable in taking some contra trades over here. So the breakout for the stock technically is about 2,530. So what I would advise traders to buy some positions over here, and once we see a breakout about 2530, then you can add aggressive more positions over there. Keep a stop loss below 2440 on the entire long positions, and expect targets around 2650.
Okay, this is the two stock picks that Ruchit is suggesting. Good afternoon, Ruchit, and a very warm welcome on markets today. What a day to have you. Record highs across the board, nearly about 25-30% in terms of market capitalization and weight you have record highs on the Nifty.
Yeah.
So that's a very big plus, sir. Ruchit, what looks good to you in the mid-cap space in the energy basket? Sakshi has been discussing MRPL for the last 2 days. I have no courage left. 220% circuits, and you know I'm now getting old, तो मेरे को तो डर लगता है. But how about you? How does MRPL look to you?
So no doubt the trend is still quite positive. What we can observe that in spite of the recent run-up, what we say that the stock has already seen a quite run-up if you look at last 3 months, 4 months prices data. But in spite of that run-up, the stock is witnessing quite high volumes even at current levels. So this clearly indicates that this standard phase might continue going ahead also. And even if we compare both MRP as well as Chennai Petro, they usually give moves in tandem with each other. Chennai Petro, I think, has still a good room on the upside where the risk reward ratio still is quite favorable. So MRPL, of course, looks good. One can hold on. Chennai Petro, I think, for a fresh buy, one can look for Chennai Petro over here, keeping stop loss below 950, and one can expect target somewhere around 1140 to 1150.
Okay. So there you have it, Chennai Petro coming your way. Then after MRPL, probably that's what Rachel you mentioned in the morning, that you know it is going to catch up and 6% higher right now.
So,
Ruchit is betting
Sakshi, you know, I was just going through my notes, and you know for a fact that I write them in very detailed format. You will not believe. Just I think this was 2022, and I was you know looking at Chennai Petro in the zone of this one 240 280.
Wow.
You know, just yesterday I started paying attention. Not that you know I have missed the rally, but all I'm just trying to say is that it's a 4x in less than 2 years.
Oh yes.
And still people have enthusiasm beyond $1,000 to get into it. And you should not pay much attention to what I say, because you don't, you see, you understand bull markets in a rear view mirror, but you trade them moving forward.
Yes.
So don't look at 4x, 5x, 3x, look forward. And that's what Ruchit is suggesting, ki abhi bhi bhai dam hai. Okay. What else is doing good? Remember in the morning we told you about Dixon Technologies.
Yes.
Again a high beta item, but I watch some things in great detail, and one of them is delivery statistics and volume. If you look at Dixon today, it's one of the volume buzzers, and it's now the top volume buzzer in FNO. Oh, I never noticed. Okay, 4.5% higher, 6661, and very decent volume, 7.8 lakh shares, 3.6 times 5-day average. What do you say, Ruchit? What does Dixon tell you on the charts?
So the chart sector is still positive for Dixon Tech, and you know, we can see that whenever there have been declines or any dips during the stock, we have not seen any kind of high volume based sell off. Right. So in terms of price volume action, if we see when the stock is going up, the volumes are good. Whenever prices are correcting, the volumes are low. I think that's the setup which indicates that the mid to long term trend still remains quite constructive on the stock. And now, if we even look the thing that we just spoke, then the stock prices have already rallied. The way we spoke, even in MRPL, Chennai Petro, or even in Dixon Technologies, stock prices have already gone up. But when even after a rally, if you see that the volumes are quite good, where fresh buying is also happening, then I think that's an indication that the momentum could continue even from those higher levels. So, अगर एक stock को 1x to 10x जाना है, तो 2x, 4x होके ही जाना पड़ता है. So if it's 2x, 4x, and it has go to 10x, then I think one should be ready even to climb at 2x to a 4x. That doesn't matter. But yes, the risk management part should come in the picture, where of course if you are taking positions after the rally, then the quantity that you are buying, that should be restricted, and the stop losses you should follow it very strictly.
Okay. A lot of stocks to talk about. Let's talk about a rare sector, and that is consumer durables. Dixon Technologies you already pointed out, and that has led the entire sector buzzing. So Blue Star is up, Orient Electric is up, Amber Enterprises is up, Voltas is up, Kajaria Ceramics is up, Havells is up in trade, V-Guard, Titan, they're all up and buzzing in trade. You know, this sector has not been like, at the top of the sectoral movers game, but it is today. So let's ask you, Ruchit, any particular stocks from this basket that look promising?
So from entire basket, I think Blue Star is looking quite attractive even at current levels. We have seen the price up move supported by good volumes. The trend is getting continued even after the recent up move. Momentum readings are a bit overbought, but generally what happens that when the trend is very strong, the up move could continue in the overbought zone as well. And
2,000
1340,
rupees in 23.
I think that's where the levels stock could approach in the near term. From the F&O basket, even Tata Consumer would be one stock which is looking quite positive. A good amount of consolidation has been seen in Tata Consumer in last 1.5 to 2 months. And after that consolidation phase, I think the stock has potential to resume its broader uptrend. So I think within the F&O basket, if you look at, then Tata Consumer also looks quite attractively placed for fresh buying. One can look for buying at current levels with stop loss below 1100 rupees and expect targets around 1240 to 1250.
Okay, this is what Tata Consumer is looking at. Sakshi, let me just point out something very interesting for you. If our guest desk can draw a long-term chart of Dixon, of course we look at stocks at great detail, but we look at them on a daily basis only. We don't put history in perspective. I've been doing that since morning from Sundaram Finance time onwards. So in 2023, which is February of 2023, Sakshi.
Wow.
So 1 year ago, the counter was at 2,689.
Wow.
वहाँ से 3x बढ़ा है, सोचिए आप. And this is a heavyweight stock. Even at its worst, it was at 2,600 and now trying to move upwards on fairly strong volumes. All-time high here is 6765. So this should be just a formality. In fact, today's close will be at an all-time high. So this is something to look forward to in terms of price breakout. Also, what else is moving, Sakshi? Well, there's no let up in Sundaram Finance as well. Volume today has exceeded Friday's volume. So this is something that people should watch out for. These are interesting times. Again, I emphasize the cleanest, most wonderful balance sheet that you'll ever see in corporate India belongs to Sundaram Finance. 4,064 for you, and volume today is 5.5 lakh shares, which is almost 2x the 5-day volume. And very good part is that it's crossed over Friday's volume. Again, record high, Sakshi.
Fantastic. 4,060. Currently a very strong move again coming in for this one. In the last 1 week, it's moved up 10%. But of course, like how Shell has pointed out, the way it has gone up in the past, of course, is a huge credit to the fine balance sheet that the company boasts of as well. We were talking about some of the auto names in the morning, like Minda Corp. There was some equity exchange that happened about 4.5% odd that pulled up Minda Corp. I'm now looking at a stock that Shell clearly watches out for, JBM Auto. It's, I think, 14.5% higher in trade. There is no let up in the kind of stocks that we are again looking at over here. Ruchit, do you track JBM Auto? And, of course, the momentum here is again surprising everyone. Tell us, what do you spot here?
So the only thing that catches my eye is the volumes of the stock. Last few days, the average volumes, if we look and if we see today's volume, then they are quite higher than the average volumes. So this is quite positive. But again, if I look from a fresh buying perspective, the stock is already up 4% today. And major support for the stock is around 1900, 1950 range. So for fresh buying, the stop losses are too big from current levels. So I won't recommend any fresh entry in this. But yes, if any existing long positions are there who have bought at lower levels, and considering the good price volume action, one can continue to ride the existing positions.
Okay, this is again the EV space that's buzzing. While you are at it, let me just close my eyes and request the PCR to follow to put out Electra Greens. That is also doing pretty well from the same setup. In fact, Sakshi, large chunks of auto is at a record high. Let me just go to the Nifty auto index and see some interesting themes for you. Okay, in terms of volume and price breakout, Bajaj auto 2.8 times the 5-day average, 9,35,000 shares. TVS Motors record high. Maruti record high today, 11,500.
Wow.
You know, Sakshi, the percentage rise today was the size of the IPO.
Okay.
Can you beat this?
That's very interesting.
It came at 125 rupees, I remember so clearly.
Oh my
So-
God.
So it's a 1x today for those who have an IPO holding. So
And you do.
I do. I don't think so I am ever selling Maruti ever in my life. So, you know, these are wonderful things to look back. But like I said, markets are learnt in the rear view mirror and invested and traded by looking into the front view. So, the moment Sakshi, I think Maruti announced a capacity expansion of doubling
Yes.
in 8 years. They wanted to invest 50, I think 45,000 crore rupees.
Yeah.
So Ruchitji will tell us where Maruti is headed, and from that day onwards, I will tell you what the stock has moved up. Just allow me that
Sure.
much time, by which time Ruchit will give you what it's going to do.
Yeah, so if you look at the stock structure, then no doubt the structure looks quite constructive. It had seen some consolidations in the month of September 2023. From the month of September till the month of early February,
Okay.
we have seen the prices were consolidating in a very narrow range itself. So that is the entire corrective phase which has gone through, and this was more of a time-wise correction within an uptrend. And now the stock has resumed its move, supported by high volumes. And usually, whenever we see any such high volume action or stock trading at all-time high, then reciprocal retracements is a theory which helps us to give some target projections or through predict the next resistances. So I think if you look at such retracements of the previous corrections, then 161.8%
9th
retracement
October.
of the entire phase comes around 11,670, which is the very short term level which would come on. So we are almost near that level. And if I look at some medium term charts and project some more retracements above that, then from a mid to long term perspective, the target projections are coming around 12,860. So I think if one is looking from a bit mid to mid-term perspective, then one can expect targets around 12,800, 12,900 in Maruti.
So Sakshi, the news of adding 50,000 crores worth of capacity expansion came on 9th of October. And 9th of October, the stock was at 10,000 rupees. So it's just moved about 10%. Of course, it slipped all the way down to 9,750. But what I'm just trying to say is that, you know, when a sector leader, by all means, Maruti is the top dog when it comes to passenger car vehicles. And similarly, for all sector leaders, whenever they announce a capacity expansion of doubling, increasing by 25%, so on and so forth, one must pay attention on the long side, because these are the people who have vision. And post demon, post how should I say, COVID, in India, Sakshi, the big will get bigger. So can Maruti grow 5 times in passenger sales? Of course. When will that happen? I don't know. But our car penetration is 8 per 1,000.
Yeah.
So I know this means more traffic jams, but if Maruti is doubling capacity, one must salute it.
Absolutely. And you know, the other auto stock, Shell, that you tracked, I think about 2 weeks back, Force Motors. That stock is also up in double digits. I think it's a 15% up right now, again on Force Motors. If we look at the kind of move that we have seen on this one over the last 1 week, I will tell you how this stock has moved up. Let's look at Force Motors and let's check. Okay, so 1 week it's 75%. the kind of move that we have seen on this one?
No. It
Was
was
a-
at 4,000 on 9th of Feb. And it's at 6,000. Okay. So, yeah, at least 50% to hai. Wow.
That's the kind of move that we have seen. Ruchit, you'll be able to give us better insight on this one.
So there's no doubt about the trend. I think no, don't need an analyst to guess the trend for the stock. If one stock is rising about 70-75% in a span of 19-20 days, then that clearly shows the strength in the stock. But of course, fresh buying at such after such a rally would not provide us a good stop losses from current levels. So it's better if anyone is holding the stock, then continue to ride the trend. And in between, if any time either price wise or some time wise corrections comes, then I think one should look for any fresh entry in the stock.
Okay. I'll request the PCR to draw a longer term chart of Force Motors. Actually, if you look at say the 3, 4, 5 month facility, actually I'll tell you what the issue is. This is an NSE graph that is coming, and it got listed on the NSE on 14th of
I think that is
November.
why this
So
price
that's
is
the
there.
problem. We can't show you the BSC price. Therefore, you see this kind of a move. The percentage rise is 50%. But our apologies, the graph does not reflect the correct picture. But Sakshi, till 12th of February, the counter had broken its highest since November of 2023, and it's then appreciated because the NSE listing came, and there is more liquidity on NSE. But as Ruchit says, it's extremely overheated, and this is something to sort of view it with intense caution. The all-time high on this counter was 4,782. This was somewhere in April of 2017. So it's what 3 plus 4, 7-year high that's been taken out on Force Motors. Sakshi.
That's wonderful. Let's now talk about some of the other pockets that are moving. So let's look at the F&O space. Biocon, that's the one that's moving up, 4.7% higher. Then we also have Dixon, we've already talked about. Delta Corp is moving up today, 4.5% up. Balrampur Chini Mills, there was a news report, 4.5% higher. Dalmia Bharat is moving up, about 4% up. GMR Airports is back in action, 4% higher. MCX is moving up in trade. Grasim, these are some of the pockets that are moving up in the F&O space as of now. Aditya Birla Fashion Retail, that's the one that's also moving up. I think it's about 3% up. Bandhan Bank, AU Small Finance Bank also getting in some kind of a move. In the F&O space, Ruchit, any particular stock that catches your fancy?
I think I'm looking more from the pharmaceutical space where I think the risk reward ratio is still quite favorable. So I've already spoken about Cipla as my recommendation at the start, and if I look at any other pharma name, then Sun Pharma also looks quite positive, where a good amount of long built up has been there. So Sun Pharma, if one is looking from a F&O perspective, then this is one stock where again the risk reward ratio is favorable. Last few days, the stock has seen some consolidation and again formed a good support around 1500. So quite close to there, around 1530 it is trading now. So one can create fresh longs in for Sun Pharma as well.
Okay. The sad part, Sakshi, of a bull run is that not only you have this feeling of being left out, but when you look at prices, you get this urge ki, 8-9 mahine pehle Sun Pharma was, sub 1000. And look at it now, it's gone up by 50%.
Yes.
And perhaps the most painful journeys in investing life have been in, one of the most painful journeys in investing life have been in Sun Pharma. I think the previous high at this level, whenever the breakout happened, was in 2013. Because the kind of pain that Sun Pharma investors have seen, it's quite unbelievable. Yes, okay. The previous high was in 2015 and it got broken in 2023. So 5 plus 3 8 साल का breakout आपने देखा somewhere in November of 2023, and from then on 1200 to 1530. So that's about 350 rupees in a span of 2-3 trading months.
Interesting. So that's the pharma space, and that's clearly buzzing right from morning trade. We've been discussing, and right from the markets even opened today. We were talking about how pharma is going to be the flavor, and Ruchit has put in his, thrown his weight behind the entire pharma pack, which is now going to be in focus. Let's talk about the buzzing spaces then. Ruchit, oil and gas space. Everything is moving again. You have Oil India, you have ONGC, that's the one that's moving up. In fact, it's the entire pack that there is no let up in. Last week also the space was, very, very buzzing. And right now also Petronet, LNG, Gujarat Gas, you have Reliance Industries, which of course is there. Then you have IOC, GAIL, the entire basket up in trade. How would you look at this space now? Is it done and dusted with the kind of moves that it has shown us in the last 2 weeks?
So I think there could be some short-term consolidations, but the overall trend remains quite positive for the entire oil and gas space. You look at the kind of price volume action that has happened with the OMCs over the last 1.5 months. I think they are not done with yet, because if you look at the weekly charts of BPCL, that gave us a target projection somewhere around 750, which is still pending. And within the entire oil and gas basket, I think one stock which still has a good potential from current levels also is ONGC. So a bit of slow mover, but we have seen that this entire theme which has caught up in last few months, that any PSU stock which is paying you consistently good dividends, a good amount of buying in the stocks. ONGC is a good stock where recently we have seen a good price volume happen. And as per the retracement, the targets over mid to long term come around 350, 355 in the stock. So I think from a risk reward ratio perspective, also if I look, then as I said, it's a slow mover. Don't expect any 8 to 10%, 5% jump in a single trading session in ONGC. But yes, if you're looking for some consistent returns from the oil and gas space, then I think ONGC is one stock which looks quite attractive.
Okay. Sakshi, what we'll do is we'll be taking a quick break. And thank you, Ruchit, for such wonderful ideas, especially in the pharma space. All the good luck to you, and all the best for a record high even from these levels. So a quick break, ladies and gentlemen. And on the other side of this very short interval, we'll be discussing State Bank of India and what to do for Tuesday.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines, and many other sectors.
Celebrate 32 years of leadership in business news with Business Today. From the groundbreaking AI cover of Sundar Pichai to PM Modi's exclusive on G20, we redefine headlines. Now our 32nd anniversary issue explores India 2029, the 5-year agenda, with industry titans sharing exclusive insights. So, just BT it for unparalleled perspectives. Business Today. 32 years of leadership, innovation, and business brilliance. Subscribe now. In today's rapidly evolving business environment, when risk is omnipresent, managing risks is no longer just about ticking a few boxes. Businesses need to maintain a panoramic view of risks to stay ahead of the curve. Join us to explore how organizations can rethink risk to unlock new possibilities and become fit for future. At PwC presents De-Risking the Future in collaboration with Business Today.
Welcome back. You're watching Market Today on Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra, with me is Shail Bhatnagar, and now we will be joined by Vineet Polijkar, Head of Research, Ventura Securities. The last half an hour of trade, and what is it that you should have as strategies placed as far as the current market setup is concerned? Vineet, good to have you back on Business Today Television, and on a day when the markets are at record high levels yet again. Tell us, what is exciting for you in this current setup? Where are you taking fresh positions? Vineet, can you hear us?
I think there's some sound issue. What we'll do is we'll try and get Vineet ji back in the reckoning. Hi Vineet, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Sakshi was asking what's cooking on the markets.
So the market is on a slow, biryani is cooking very slowly. And so once we have captured 22,000, so now I guess we are headed much higher. And
Okay.
that's very good signs for the bulls.
Okay. So not many people in the market know that Vineet is an excellent culinary chef as well. And not only does he cook good biryani, but his stock picks are amazing. So Sakshi, why don't you repeat the question that you had before Vineet joined us?
Yeah, Vineet, I wanted to ask you, what is really exciting you in the markets right now? Where are you putting fresh amounts of money? Any exciting stocks at record high levels?
So obviously, apart from the PSU, oil stocks and infra stories that we've been talking about, I think one segment where we expect great action to happen over the next 3 to 4 years is going to be the real estate segment.
Real
And
estate.
my reasoning for this is going to be very simple: is that accelerated infrastructure development means ease of convenience and connectivity between cities. And if that is going to be the mantra of the Modi government in 3.0, then I believe that real estate stocks will really fire.
Okay. So Vineet, that's the raw material that you've sort of created, which means that rice is half cooked, chicken is marinated, the spices are in, and everything is on the table. Okay. So sector we know, why we know what's moving, but what will move? Stocks.
So I think one very under valued stock is India Bulls real estate. And the litigations around that which just keep getting extended is the fact that that keeps the stock in suppressed. But having said that, over the last couple of months it has rallied almost 50%.
India
It's been a
Bulls real estate.
very
Okay.
stealthy movement. And so I think this stock should do well going ahead. So this is one of my stocks that we are tracking. The other stocks that we like obviously is DB Realty, done really well. We have recommended about a year and a half ago at about 35-40 levels. Today it's at about 250 odd levels. We like that. Uh, and there are some other major names that we like, and one name I will be revealing to you in a couple of days. So since that is work in progress, I will not talk about it.
Wonderful. So basically, you are gathering the ingredients of a good stock pick, and it's what February 19th, Monday. So maybe the next Monday, which is 9 plus 7, 26th, you will be ready.
I think we'll end the week on a happier note with a good record.
Oh, okay. We have to get you on Friday then this time.
Okay, so we are making a request to the guest desk on air to please get Vineet ji back on the show on Friday. Actually, Vineet cancelled out last week. He was supposed to come, but I'm sure something good must have been cooking for Vineet not to have his presence on us. On our show. So, okay, real estate will move. Look at DB Realty, look at India Bulls Real Estate, and there's one cooking in the tandoor, which Vineet will let us know by the end of this week. Fine. Okay. Vineet, the other rally that's happened fantastically between the time you came last to meet us and now is the energy space. We are abuzz on HP and BP record highs, also on IOC, and Oil India is also at a record high. We are moving towards a record high on ONGC. Would you have a favorites here?
So BP Sale is one of our favorites, and ONGC.
Okay.
So ONGC has this very big oil find in the Andamans, which is undergoing development. It has the promise and potential to make India self-reliant on oil. Although the well would take some time to come on stream, but we think that ONGC at these valuations, whenever that those oil wells come online, you will find that this stock is retrospectively very cheap. So gradually accumulating the stock is what we would recommend to do.
Okay. Vineet, the other part I wanted to understand was, everybody is getting extremely bullish on SBI. What are your thoughts on SBI now? And because, we've been harping on the fact that everybody is probably thinking that SBI will turn out to be the next HDFC bank on the street. What are your thoughts on this one?
So we have been very, very constructive on SBI, and we are a little disappointed that it has underperformed the entire banking space. So, while the PSU banks have rallied, Maharashtra Bank was one of our favorites. Bank of Maharashtra, that has moved from 17 to 60 today. SBI has barely done about 40% upside. And if you see SBI, one of the largest banks, having an ROE very, very comparable with all its private banking peers, and available at very, very abysmal valuations of about 1.1, 1.2 times book on a SOTP basis. I think this stock deserves to be around 952,000 rupees within the next, probably next 9 months.
Okay. This is really an interesting thought you've come up with, Vineet, because the market seems to be belatedly recognizing SBI's strength on the balance sheet side as also on its CASA ratio. Do you think there is some move in the market in terms of how we track sentiment that SBI replaces HDFC Bank as the top one on the radar?
So that's not going to happen very soon. And I'll give you my reasoning for that. Is that the efficiency levels of SBI are extremely poor. So if you were to walk into a SBI bank, the kind of customer service that you get is absolutely requires a lot of improvement, right? And while as HDFC Bank also there are concerns around customer satisfaction. Okay, it's far better than what it is at SBI. So we believe that there will be some time before that really happens, and for the SBI will really need to kickstart their operational efficiencies before that happens. And the way to track that is to track the ROA of the bank. So the ROA of the bank, if you look at a 30-year history, every time it touched 1.0, that was a type of a up, that was a crest on the cycle. And it would come off. But over the last 1.5 years, what we are finding is that 1.1, 1.2 is where the ROA is heading. And so, we've had a good ROE. We are looking to see efficiency gains happening on the ROA. And that will come from the fact that, bulk of the expense underwriting that they had to do, they've done it this quarter. And they have surplus SLRs that is sit on, which they can plow back into lending and which will improve the efficiency of the business. So the number to track is the ROE.
Okay. And actually, Vineet, you're the second person who's referred to the ROA part of public sector banks today. We were talking to another gentleman and he actually said the same thing. Just watch the ROA move up in public sector banks, and till the point it hits its at least the previous high, you have a good rally going. Beyond that, we'll see how it moves. But okay, so that's the view coming in on SBI. Amongst the large heavyweights, Vineet, should this rally again move forward beyond 22,300, beyond 22,500? What are the couple of stocks which might outperform?
So I think the Adani stocks have a long way to go. Adani Enterprises and Adani ports. We still feel that there is significant legs in Adani ports. We believe that TVS can do very well. We like Maruti. Maruti has just broken out, if you see on the technical charts, and we believe that story is extremely undervalued. For the kind of franchise that they have, and coming 25 FY25 onwards, you will see the EV portfolio of Maruti get a leg up. And when the portfolio is launched, you will find that it's a portfolio which is driven by the Toyota engine, and the distribution is by Maruti. So, and they're going to be launching 6 models over the next 4 to 5 years. We believe that just like SBI was an underperformer over the last few months, Maruti has also been an underperformer over the last few months despite stellar numbers. And we believe that this undervaluation play is now going to get favored to Maruti and SBI. So we will see a sector rotation upwards on.
Okay, this is interesting. Where do you see Maruti from now onwards, Vineet? 11,500 almost there. It's at a record high, and this is again sectoral. We have Bajaj Auto, we have TVS Motors, Eicher, Tata Motors, M&M at record highs. Where do you think Maruti is headed in the short term? Maybe 6 months?
I think Maruti, let's take a little slightly longer view of about 18 months. I think Maruti, if it is not around 14,000, I will be disappointed.
Wow. Okay. What about the auto ancillary stocks? Which are your favorites now? I mean, I remember you were talking about Motherson Sumi once before that you were positive on. Which are the other stocks that are coming on top of your radar?
So we continue to like that. I think the other one that is undervalued is Bosch. The third company that I like is going to be your CIE Automotives.
Okay.
I believe that these are stocks which are very, very great franchises, extremely undervalued, and just waiting for things to turn around. We like Automotive Axles. That is another stock which is taken up by the market. We like Minda and Minda Industries. So although the valuations are rich, the growth factor is very strong, and their portfolio is extremely skewed towards the electric vehicle part, and their value addition per vehicle is growing very strongly. So I think that is one sector which will do well in 25-26.
Okay. On Bosch, where do you see the stock moving now, particularly?
So, I won't comment on the numbers because we have not covered it in greater detail. But I think that the turnaround in the Bosch story has started, and that is what will drive the move. Bosch can easily do 35,000 or 20% upside from current level.
29,000, you have another digit change within matter of days on Bosch.
Actually, the earnings were a blowout. They happened about 4-5 days ago. And from then on, it's been a singular one unidirectional kind of a move on Bosch. And when it says 35,000. Again, gentlemen, I'd just like to point out for those who are viewing us that one, we are in a very, very secular uptrend as far as the broader markets are concerned. Within that secular uptrend, there is a major uptick in auto stocks across the board. First, the OEMs have hit record highs, Maruti, M&M, Tata Motors, of course, for a very long time. Then the four-wheeler stocks, Bajaj Auto, TVS Motors, Eicher as well as Hero. It's now the turn of auto ancillaries, people who supply equipment to OEMs to follow suit. This is called a flying geese pattern. The lead geese flies a bit higher and ahead of all the followers, and then it's the lower stocks that keep on following. So that's the reason why you see a lot of auto ancillaries moving in this kind of a move. Of course, Sakshi never fails to point out that Bosch is the only listed player globally of the German parent, and try as hard as they might, it will not get delisted. देंगे ही नहीं यहाँ वाले.
Yeah, and of course with Vineet's conviction coming in, I'm sure there'll be like 100,000 more people who will be investing in Bosch today. After this also, like, you know, all those who have the capacity at 29,000, look at it, it's not stopping anywhere, 29,071. That's the kind of move that we are looking at over here. Okay, let's talk about the other moving parts. Then, you know, a lot of positive commentary coming around pharma space, Vineet. Now, I remember last time you had also spoken about Dr. Reddy's as your preferred SPAC from the pharma space. Any other stocks that you've now added on to the list of pharma stocks where you now believe there could be a further rally?
Natco Pharma is one that I like. It has seen a recent spot. That is what we like. So Natco should do well. I think Natco can be one of the big bazookas in the pharmaceutical space.
So, Sakshi, again, this is earnings led. I think the earnings came on Friday. Yes, it came on Friday. They came on Thursday post market hours. And let me just revisit the numbers, because when Vineet says it's going to be a bazooka, let's just put some perspective behind this. The stock also moved very sharply on Friday. I think it was up 15-17%.
Threefold rise in the profits, you know, 212 odd crores. 4 days ago, this had come for Q3 earnings of Natco Pharma, and it had come in at 62.3 crores. You know, last fiscal. From that to 212 odd crore rupees this fiscal, as far as the profitability is concerned for Natco Pharma. When we talk about the kind of move we have seen on the revenue front, that stood at 758 crores as against 492 crores in the year ago period. So both top line and bottom line really working in favor for the company. Strong business across the board is what the company really said, adding that they are confident of the strategy going forward from here too. So that's the earnings picture.
Okay. So this is how it is, a very strong earnings momentum. The volume on Friday was phenomenal, and it's the volume may not have kept pace today, but it has, of course, been certainly fairly high. Today's volume is somewhere like 46 lakh shares. Friday's volume was a whopping 1 crore 46 lakh shares. What do you like, Vineet, in Natco, and where do you think this bazooka will stop?
So, you know, the way the value discovery is happening, I would not like to put a number on it.
Okay.
You know, but I believe that it is the top pick in the pharma sector. We are seeing, we are seeing revenue growth happening, margins expanding, and the operating leverage is going to lead to twinfold effect of high growth in earnings as well as the re-rating of the multiple.
Okay, so this is a buy and hold, ladies and gentlemen, from what I can make out from Vineet's talk. Is this a level to buy?
So, you know, this trend has just started.
Okay.
And while you know, whether you should be buying at this price or should you be adding on decline, so a safer strategy would be to buy some now and wait for a decline.
Okay, fair point. Sakshi.
Okay, let's talk about some of the other moving parts in the markets as well. You know, apart from the pharma, the energy basket that we've been discussing, FMCG, does this space have any merit, you know, among the movers now? We're looking at some buying emerge in this space, but this space has largely disappointed investors over the last 1.5 years odd. Do you think this will now prove to be a time that FMCG stocks will get their mojo back?
So I think, we have to be selective out here and not go with the typical names. So I think one stock that I like is Gillette.
Okay.
We like Varun Beverages, obviously. And one interesting play out here is Honasa Consumer.
Okay.
We think
Mama.
that we have Mama Earth. We think that in my personal opinion, I think that it's a rock solid business. They have got great credibility. 1,000 crore brand done in 14 years is what Levers did. They did in a short time. They built 5 brands which are 100 crores plus. So I would give them a lot of respect, and this stock can do about 30 to 40% upside in the next couple of years.
Okay.
So, as I've always said, Vineet never shies away from getting into stocks where the consensus is not in terms of investment, and that's borne out very well in Adani. He has been one of the long-term bulls on the Adani group. I've had the pleasure of knowing Vineet for quite a while, and that's made phenomenal money. Honasa, right there in front of you. Lots of naysayers for the business from the time it got listed, as also from the IPO side. So it's Honasa, Natco, IB Real, DB Realty, SBI for the large cap space, and of course one thing's cooking by which time Friday Vineet will look at. So these are the 5-7 stocks, ladies and gentlemen, which are meant for long-term portfolios. Natco, of course, is post earnings. I'm so sorry, I forgot Maruti and Bosch as well. So 7 stocks is what Vineet's mentioned.
And
have I missed
Uno
any?
Minda Corp, he's positive on the ancillary stocks as well. So Motherson, he's still holding on to. Those are the kind of stocks that he mentioned as far as the auto ancillary are also concerned. TVS Motors, you're positive on Maruti, he said.
Yeah.
These are the stocks that he's positive
So Maruti, Bosch, what was
TVS?
TVS Motors, Minda Corp
Uno
from the
Minda.
auto side, and then we have IB Real Estate, DB Realty from the Realty Pack, Natco Pharma from the drugs business, and should you want to beautify yourself up, Honasa.
Fantastic. All right.
Vineet, how much has your portfolio appreciated over the last 1.5 years? You look like a Cheshire cat who's had a lot of malai. Look at the smile.
So let me give a little perspective on my company where I work, Ventura Securities. So the last 4 years, if you had bought every stock that Ventura recommended,
Yeah.
you would have a 54% CAGR.
Wow.
Now you know the smile.
I know, and Vineet can, every month, at least once or at least once a quarter, can be found in Goa celebrating, the picks that he has given. I remember the last time you were talking about Adani stocks, he was the first vote of confidence for Adani
Yes.
stocks that he
Fair
gave
point.
on our channel when the crisis had hit and the stocks had hit rock bottom. He clearly told me that, I am recommending on your channel Adani stocks and I have bought it and I'm going to be enjoying myself in Goa. That was the conversation that we had Vineet, right?
Yeah, I do remember distinctly.
And Vineet really famous in our fraternity of stock pickers for his bold call on Adani.
Yes.
So I must,
Yes,
I must
absolutely.
make this public. Whenever 40-50 of us meet, all of us personally go to Vineet and thank him, and then ask him which is the next one, which is going to tell on Friday.
On Friday. Okay. With that, Vineet, thanks a lot. It's been a pleasure hosting you, as is always, on Business Today Television. And we will be getting in touch with you on Friday to get to know the third big bazooka from your portfolio that you're going to be recommending to all our viewers as well. 2 minutes to go, ladies and gentlemen. You can see, of course, the markets are going to be hitting record closing highs yet again. 22,120 right now. So it's of course there's profits have been taken off the table from the top of the day, but still we're about 0.4% higher when it comes to the Nifty Bank as well, 46,557 for that one. Sectorally, consumer durables, FMCG, healthcare, healthcare, oil and gas, the broader market, small and mid caps, they're the ones that have ridden high. It's the PSU banks that are seeing sharp bouts of profit booking towards the end of the session. 0.5% lower for this one. The realty space is down 0.7%. IT pack, that's the one, 0.3% lower. Three sectors which are seeing sharp bouts of profits being taken off the table, but rest of the sectors in fine fettle. Among the top movers as far as the F&O space is concerned, Dixon Technology 6.5% higher. Balrampur Chini 4.5% higher, Biocon 4% up, Delta Corp up 3.5%, GMR Airports Infra, Multi Commodity Exchange, that's MCX, AU Small Finance Bank, and also Aditya Birla Fashion. Those are the top movers in the F&O space. On the Nifty, Grasim tops the charts, Bajaj Twins. You have Bajaj Auto, in fact, so it's 3 Bajaj stocks among the top 5 movers as far as the Nifty movers are concerned. You have Cipla, you have ICICI Bank, and you have Bharti Airtel, that was recommended by Akshay in the morning as among the top movers on the markets, and Dr. Reddy is also inching higher as well as of now. Shell, anything else you want to point?
Sakshi, I think it's been a great day. And one good thing is that 22,100 is with us. We may not have closed at a record high. Nevertheless, we hope to build on to these gains. Now that you see a lot of people getting more and more confident on Nifty components, and they are just putting the debacle, it's not exactly a debacle, they're just putting the negativity of HDFC Bank behind them. And typical of markets, when they want to rise, they find newer, better, stronger, and longer lasting horses in the market.
Very, very interestingly, Shell, there is, of course, I have not calculated it myself, but I am going to do that right after we close the show. Tata Group's market value is now reported to be more than Pakistan's economy. So $365 billion, that's over 30 lakh crore rupees, and that's higher than Pakistan's GDP. Right now, that's the kind of move that we are looking at.
ये तो आपको एक ही मिनट में पता चल जाएगा ना कि what is TCS market cap. If it's I think more than 100,000 lakhs, we will get 100,000 crores. We'll get back to you, but this is a great headline.
Marks for a great headline, and I'm sure you can do your own research as well and see. And that's where the markets are really headed. A very, very fine shape in which the markets are shutting shop today. Let's hope for a 222 and double zeros to be seen on the Nifty tomorrow as well. With that, many thanks for watching Business Today Television. Goodbye from me and Shell, but do stay tuned as a lot of action unfolds on your screens even after this.
Darwin Platform Group of Companies is one of the fastest growing diversified Indian conglomerates with global footprints. It is setting up offices globally and tying up with companies across the globe from multiple sectors. The company has ventured into real estate and construction, stockbroking and finance, arms and ammunition, mining, airlines and many other sectors.